getting to know them personally with interviews on Rock Made of Metal.
Hello, this is Mikey Demus from the band Skindred.
You know what, actually, I've not really had the opportunity to interview a band before who's... Usually what happens is an album is released a day before or a day after, but not during the actual day of the interview, which I think is quite... Yeah, it's quite cool. So, how does it feel to actually have the album released today?
Oh, enormously proud of Kill the Power. It's just come out today. We're already psyched about it. We've been sitting on it since sort of middle of last year, so it's been a nice build-up to a release day. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a party tonight, I should imagine. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like, you're here in Glasgow right now as well too. I mean, obviously it's like the start of like the new year as well. I mean, obviously kind of coming out here with like with a new album as well too. How does it feel to have that kind of, you know, completely fresh Skindred, you know, for the start of this year?
Yeah, really good. I mean, we were initially planning to release it in September sort of time, but you know, one thing led to another, and we decided to push it back just to sort of, you know, give ourselves a nice sort of break over Christmas to kind of do our thing and then come back strong in the new year. So it's like new year, new danger, you know.
Absolutely. And obviously a new danger as well too. Obviously, are you used to the said danger, as in obviously since it's the break as well too? I mean, have you kind of like settled back in from the whole, you know, cobwebs of the holidays, so to speak?
Well, we kind of had a couple of weeks rehearsal before we came out, so that was our chance to kind of like crack the bones and, you know, dust off the cobwebs. But this is, I think, the 6th show of the tour. We've been out for, you know, just a little under a week, and it's the first week of probably about 6 months of touring we've got pretty much penciled in, and it's going to be ongoing for the next 18 months really, so we'll be going everywhere. So yeah, just having to sort of, you know, psychologically prepare yourself for lots and lots and lots of physical work. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be fit as a fiddle by the time it's done, to be honest. So
hopefully, hopefully, you know. I cancelled my gym membership last week, you know. Well, doing 2 hours of cardio every day.
Can I have that, by the way? I think I'm going to need that afterwards. So there we go. So, no, I can't. But yeah, so, well, obviously, with that said, we'll go back to the album as well, too. Obviously, this album that's just been released today as well, too, is something that's going to be through that entire 18 months of touring. Yeah. From what I don't know if you've heard much about it today in terms of, like, what people have been saying about it and whatnot as well, too, but have you liked what you heard about what people have been saying about this album today?
Yeah, I mean, we've had glowing reviews from most of the major magazines. All kinds of things coming on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that, you know, nothing but positivity really, which is good. Yeah. You know, I mean, so we've just been sort of sharing that and sort of loads of great feedback, you know. Yeah, I think people are really hungry for it, so yeah, no complaints in that department. Everyone's really stoked. Yeah.
It's literally a massive record, to be honest, in terms of its sound as well, so it's amazing, you know.
We're doing a bunch of new stuff live as well, and that's been going down really well.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously that's known as well too. Do you feel as though I'm probably jumping a bit forward to the questions here a wee bit, but in terms of the stuff that you have for this album as well too, I mean, do you feel as though that's going to be kind of used a lot once the kind of albums? I mean, it's not like this is a new album, let's push this a wee bit. But do you think it's going to fit into your kind of live schedule as such?
Yeah, I mean, on this tour, you know, it's our headline thing, so we can play for an hour and a bit and play a little bit from everything, you know. Play the hits, so to speak. But I mean, if we do any sort of support tours or festivals later in the year where we've got less time, obviously have to cut a few bits and bobs, but we'll definitely there'll be a couple of newies in there. I would have thought, you know, we can put a couple of tracks off every album and sort of make 40 minutes, 45 minutes work. So yeah, we just have to sort of pick which ones we want to do, and you know, well, I guess we'll tell that from this tour which ones are going down the best. You know?
Absolutely as well too, because from what I've been hearing about it as well too, obviously Skindred is quite well known for the fact that your music literally just goes everywhere in terms of genres. Like, there's just a little bit of everything in terms of it, but like even from that, I've kind of heard that you've been tried to be doing more with it almost as well too. Like, you've tried completely new different things on this record as well too, if I'm right in saying.
I mean, you know, in the past it's generally just been the four of us with a producer kind of refining stuff we've done, but on this last album we collaborated with a few people as well. Obviously we did that on the last record on Union Black. We did a track with Jacoby from Papa Roach, and on this album we did a track with Jenna G, who does a load of dance stuff. She did one Open Eyed on on Kill the Power. She did we wrote that with her, and we did a bunch of tracks with Russ Ballard, who wrote God Gave Rock and Roll to You and Since You've Been Gone, and a load of other stuff. But we did we wrote together a few songs, and that was amazing, you know, like stripping stuff back and sort of, you know, reaching further at the same time. Really, you know, really positive experience.
Yeah, because obviously, like, there's kind of like completely different kind of styles to something that you'd be used to, especially. I heard about that, the composer, was it, for like the songs there as well too. I actually heard about that as well. I mean, something like that where you're kind of being pushed like something way outside kind of the boundaries that you may know yourself as well too, something like different style. I mean, what was it like to kind of learn from that? I mean, how was that kind of experience? Can you go into more detail about it?
Amazing, really amazing. Such a, you know, we all got a lot from it, because you know, any band who sort of gets to this level, you're pretty much making it up as you go along a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if it's that sort of X Factor stuff that people love, it's like, if you knew how to do that, you just, you know, you'd bottle it, wouldn't you? You know. Yeah. And I think bands getting to that level where you know what people want from you and stuff it's taking us, you know, probably 5 albums to kind of hone our identity and our sound in that respect. So we were all kind of, well, I was not dubious, but I had no idea what it was going to be like working with a guy like Russ. But I was surprised at how much of a common denominator there was with all of us. We had a really good time together. I thought he might think that we were like a weird band, and you know, he's obviously written big rock songs, but you know, that's his currency. You know, that's rock hooks and. So, and we've always tried to focus on that sort of stuff in songwriting before in the past. So, bringing him in on this one was just like refining that side of things with the music. You know, we didn't get him to, we weren't really bothered about, you know, Russ, what do you think of this song Ninja? Like, bring a ragga verse, bro. You know, like I think like we can handle that stuff. It was more for the songs where it's like the bigger the big chorus songs where it's like, how can this chorus be the best it can be? You know, that sort of stuff. And you know, he was invaluable. I'd love to work with him again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, obviously the album's released today, so I'm not about to say to you, but there's always next album because that's about 18 months away. So you know, but yeah, I mean, like, it's what you said there as well too. I mean, it's not like he's not got nothing to work with. I mean, like, hell, you guys have pretty much been able to go anywhere with your music, to be honest, more or less, and still have the reggae core, like the reggae rock core to yourself as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like having a bit of coaching. Do you know what I mean? It's like when, you know, when like a football team changes manager or something like that. You know, it's just kind of like, just puts you in a different direction, gives you a different perspective, way of looking at things. And you know, we had songs, and Russ came in and kind of said, try doing that twice instead of once, or try doing that a bit less. You know, and it was, you know, production and writing in that respect. And it was kind of like, all right, didn't really think about it like that. So, and it worked out for the best. You know?
Okay, cool. So I'm kind of curious about this last point as well too. Like, kind of that direction you were talking about there as well too. Like, what was that kind of direction then? Like, unless you've kind of already said it, I'm not too sure.
I mean, he was kind of, especially working with Benji, and you know, lyrically, he was kind of pushed an idea of doing less, and kind of, you know. He was also like less information. Like, you're giving me too much information in a short space of time. So I think you know, there's a couple of songs where you can really hear it. That it's like, you know, just really refined sort of vocals and lyrics and themes. Kind of, you know, we've always been into universal themes and lyrics, and things that lots of people can draw something from. And Russ sort of really tapped into that with him, you know. But he's a fantastic musician. He plays every instrument. You know, it's like a real bastard. You know, he sits down at a piano, just like casually fucking shredding on the thing, on a guitar, everything. You know, he's just like one of those annoyingly amazingly talented guy. Got a beautiful singing voice, and he's this old guy. You know, he's like really old. You know, unsuspecting. Really, and every story he's got is just fucking pure rock and roll. And he's just the sweetest guy, you know. It's so cool.
On a serious point, he sounds like a really nice guy.
Oh,
but on the other side of it as well too, don't you just hate guys like that though, just a wee bit? You know what I mean? You're just looking at them, and you're like, damn, why do you have to be so good? You know what I mean?
It was just a pleasure to be in his company more than anything, and you know, we all learnt a lot from him. And we've always been open to the idea of collaboration. It's always, I suppose, been hard to think of the right person. and it was just kind of a serendipitous thing when we sort of met Russ, and it kind of worked out that way. But we love working with other people, you know.
I mean, I can understand why. I mean, like, again, there's very few bands out there who can do, like, reggae metal, you know what I mean? It is a very distinct kind of thing. But even that being said, I mean, is it something then you've put in thought to, like, about, like, who you would want to kind of collaborate with and stuff like that? Maybe on, like, more of a kind of, the people that would know, like, bands and other stuff like that?
I think we've got a huge world to pick from, because it's not just like we're in, you know, one pocket, one world, where, you know, there's, like, working with Jacoby, for example, seemed quite an immediate, obvious thing, because we're good friends, we played together a whole bunch, and that we're in the same sort of world, if you know what I mean. And for a lot of our fans, it wouldn't have been a what the, you know, it made instant sense, and it was that was a track that we were kind of scratching our heads on for ages, and then he came in the studio, nailed it first take kind of thing. It was like made the song the lead single off the album. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of saved it from. There was that bit in the song where none of us really knew what was going to happen, and he just came in and went, "I've got something," and that was it. And now, you know, we finish the set with it every night because it's like a big song. So, you know, and sometimes it just takes that extra little bit of influence to go, you know, and. But, you know, there's all kinds of people we'd like to do that with, from other worlds that we sort of dip into, you know, and it's just kind of whether or not they happen. You know, there's been lots of things that nearly happened that didn't because of, you know, one reason or another. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Sometimes things just don't work out and stuff like that.
Like you know, we sort of, you know, we in the past we have sort of earmarked different artists and stuff and talked, and, you know, the same goes with working with producers and records and things like that, and you talk, and then, you know, schedules conflict and things don't happen. So
there's an example you could give to us by any chance?
Well, there was a period when we were going to do an album with Bob Rock. That nearly happened. You know, we nearly did Roots What Riot with Bob Rock. That was pretty amazing. I had his phone number on my phone for one period of time. He was like, "Hey Bob, what's going on with this thing?" But you know, another band on the label were like took ages to finish their record. It didn't happen. Yeah. And we, you know, the guy we did do it with, it turned out just fine. Yeah. But it, you know what I mean? There's a million and one things that nearly happen that the world doesn't hear about. But we just embrace the things that do happen.
Exactly.
You know?
It's all about the here and now and about taking advantage when you can.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So philosophical moment here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look where we are. You know, we're in the big room at Glasgow ABC. You know, that's never happened before.
Totally, yeah. Big room. Oh, sorry. You mean actually what you're going to do later? So I thought you meant like right now. Okay,
yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, we're normally, you know, we've sold out the ABC 2 a couple of times, so it's kind of like the next logical step up is to go in the big room. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
makes absolute sense as well too. Well, we'll move kind of away from that as well too, and obviously as a summative question I kind of want to ask you as well too, but I couldn't really think of a good way of linking it in there, so I'm just going to blatantly ask you. One of the things I've got here is, like I said, because you've been trying to do so much new things with your album here as well too, has it necessarily changed the core of what this album is then and whatnot? Are we still in reggae metal, as close to it, you know what I mean? I say reggae metal, it could also be something else, but in that kind of way, but has the core of that changed of what it is, if that makes sense?
I mean, I don't think the band would ever really class itself a reggae metal band. That's just two words that the world needs to put on us in order to be able to put it on the right shelf in a record shop. I don't know. I mean, there's more going on than that. I think to make it easy for everyone, we're a rock band first and foremost. I think, you know, tonight's a rock show. You know, I mean, there's lights, loads of amps, you know, we're at home in different worlds. We're at home in the metal world. We're at home in the reggae world. We're at home in the punk rock world. We've got some pop sensibility going on. You know, I mean, there's loads of dance influences, all kinds of shit going on. So I don't know if it's just. There's a few tracks on the album that you could say, yep, that's reggae and metal mixed together. But then there's a couple where you're going to go, hang on a minute, there's no metal here, there's no reggae here. You know, there's an acoustic reggae song at the end of the album, there's no metal in it, you know. But, I don't know, it was whatever people... In this world we're in, people need to be able to classify what you are in order to be able to identify it. So yeah, if reggae and metal works for who's listening to it, then fine. But then there's people who say it's not reggae metal, it's ragapunk, you idiot. Like, and it's like, okay, whatever, dude. You know, whatever you think it is, that's what it is.
Absolutely. For the record, I do genuinely agree with that. It's just you got word things in a weird way sometimes, so I do see where you come from with that as well too. But then, so in your opinion, then you say you're classified as a rock band. Then, so is that generally the way you see it? Is it just a rock band?
I guess so. If you're like, you know, trying to broaden the term, like get out of any kind of niche, real extreme pigeonholing, I guess, you know, it's rock music. Yeah. That's what I tell people when you know, when I meet, you know, relatives, grandmothers, sort of thing, you know, don't know any. I say, oh, what kind of music is it? I say, oh, it's a rock band, you know, because if I say, "Oh, I'm in this reggae metal dubstep act," you know, they're gonna be like, "I don't know what you just said." So yeah, you know, it's a rock band. It's you know, we've got a lot of punk rock attitude in the band. There's you know, there's like loads of reggae vibe. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But I would say, you know, we're in the rock world first and foremost.
Fair enough. No problem then. I'll leave it at that then as well too. Then, so it's cool. So basically, that's kind of really all my serious kind of questions answered anyway. I like to ask kind of one jokey question. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm the kind of interviewer who just likes to ask like a lot of serious questions. I think like the funny one at the end is a good one to have, to be honest. So, yeah. Basically, I was just kind of wondering if you could have any kind of mythical creature, which one would you have?
Was a Minotaur mythical? It was, wasn't it?
Minotaur. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great big like bull thing that stands on its hind legs and beats shit up.
Yeah.
If I could have one, did you say, or if I was one?
Have one.
Have one. Oh yeah, Minotaur. I'd have a couple. Or in fact, like a Cerberus, like a 3-headed dog. That'd be good. We always joke about wanting those dog things off of Lord of the Rings, like those, you know, those great big fucking things that they ride, that the orcs ride. Those, a couple of those on a couple of chains would be good. Yeah. Walk down the high street with, you know, sick 'em on people. Yeah, Cerberus, the Minotaur. Either of them. I'll be happy with either of them, yeah.
I just love the idea as well too of just like, see when you kind of get those people who like have the pit bulls and it's like, oh yeah, look at my pit bull as well too. It's like, nah mate, look at my Cerberus. Like, look at I don't.
To be honest, I've got a border collie. He's like soft as shit, you know. I take him down the dog park and there's like all these hard guys with like the pit bulls. Yeah. It's just like, whatever. Stupid.
Well, who wants that as well too? Like, who wants a dog that's just like, I want a soft, you know, puppy.
I can't think of a non-imposing mythical creature, really. Yeah. When you say mythical creature, I think of Greek mythology, and I think if they were all gnarly fucking like things. So
maybe that's something I should do. Actually, maybe I should like bring in a picture of like the softest.
You need a flip up book of like options ranging from, I don't know, like some kind of unicorn thing, all the way to, you know, 3-headed dash-hound death machine.
Maybe I'll bring in a list or like do some research. Like, that's the first time I'm starting to ask this question, so maybe next time I'll try and find like some mythical bunny or something like that, so when somebody comes out with like, I want this, I'm like, you don't want the bunny, mate. Like
a laminated A3 sheet of options, and, you know, keep a tally of who says what, maybe, you know? I think people are always going to go for the hard man one, possibly, I don't know.
Well, to be honest, that's what I was saying, because I interviewed Soil actually, and it's funny you say that, because like the minute I said that to him, it was just like, dragon? Like, what else would I have? Like, why would you not have a dragon? It's a dragon. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's just like
fireflies. Yeah, that's a good one.
You can't really.
I went Greek with it. You see, I thought of Greek.
Oh no,
interesting.
Was it Minotaur or Cerberus that you wanted? You were either
either one, mate.
Either one. Okay.
I'm happy with either. Maybe we could fuse a new creature out of the two of them. 3-headed Minotaur.
Minotaurus, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minotaur.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I'm still recording this, but I'm just on the chat to you.
I'm into it.
Drums, beat the drums, son. Drums, beat the drums. Drums, beat the drums, son. Drums, beat the drums. Drums, beat the drums, son. Drums, beat the drums. Drums, beat the drums, son. Drums, beat the drums.
Hey, this is Mikey Demus from the band Skindred, and you are listening to Rock Made of Metal.